Now let us see the next chapter, data handling. So what is the data? Now let us see the information collected from the students. Now I will take the heights of the students in a table. Now for example, the height of a particular student Ravi is 150 centimeters and the height of Raju is 145 centimeters and the height of Lata is 140 centimeters and the height of Srija is 138 centimeters. So these are the heights of some students in a class. Now this is the information collected in the form of numbers or words, and from this information so we can take the decisions like who is the tallest student in the class and who is the shortest student in the class, and we can draw some conclusions using this information. So what is the data? The information which is in the form of numbers or words and helps us in taking decisions and drawing conclusions is called the data. The information which is in the form of numbers or words and helps us in taking decisions and drawing conclusions is called the data. Now, so in this data, this is the information regarding the heights of the students. So from this information, we can take some decisions and we can draw some conclusions. So this information in the form of a table and in the form of numbers or words is called the data. Now the numerical entries in the data, so this 150 centimeters, 145 centimeters and 140 centimeters, 138 centimeters, so these are the numerical entries. So these numerical entries in the data are called observations. So we can write the numerical entries in the data are called observations, and we can represent any data in the form of table or graphs. So here we can write that the tables and graphs are used to represent the data. So we can use tables or graphs to represent any data. Now next topic, organizing data. How to organize the given data? For example, the marks in a certain FA of some students are given that Krish has got 30 marks and Rani has got 25 marks and Rakesh has got 45 marks, and Ramani has got 42 marks, and Kishore has got 39 marks. Now, so these are the marks of some students in a class conducted in a FA formative assessment out of 50 marks. Now, the same marks can be represented in another way using the tables. Now, here you will take the student, and here you will take marks. Now, the first student Krish, the second student Rani, and the third student Rakesh. Next Ramani, and next Kishore. So we take the different students in the first column, and we will take the marks of the students in the second column. So here Krish has got 30 marks, so we write 30, and Rani has 25, Rani has got 25 marks, and Rakesh 45 marks, and Ramani 42 marks, and Krish and Kishore has got 39 marks. So this is the organization of data in the form of tables. Now the same table can be represented either in the ascending order or in the descending order of the marks of particular students. So if you arrange all the students in the ascending order of the marks, then we get first 25 Rani, then second we get Krish 30 marks, then we get Kishore 39 marks, then we get Ramani 42 marks, then at last we get Rakesh 45 marks. If we arrange the students in the descending order of the marks, then we get first Rakesh and last Rani. Now next we will learn about the representative values. Now if you take an instance, for example, in a hostel, the average consumption of rice per child per day equals to, the average rice consumption of rice per child per day is 150 grams, and the average age of children equals to 13 years, and the average height of children equals to 135 centimeters. Now in a hostel, for example, the average consumption of rice per child per day is 150 grams. Means it doesn't mean that every child in the hostel eats only 150 grams of rice, but some students may take more than 150 grams, but some students may take less than 150 grams. But here we can understand that on average each child takes 150 grams of rice per day, and so here 150 grams gives us an idea of the average rice consumption of child per day. Now the second, the average age of children is 13 years. Means we cannot say that each child has only 13 years. Some students may be more than 13 years old and some students may be less than 13 years old. So but here this 13 years gives us an idea of the average age of each child in the hostel, And similarly, the average height of children is 135 centimeters. Means every child may not be 135 centimeters. Some children may be more than 135 centimeters height, and some students may be less than 135 centimeters. But here this 135 centimeters gives us an idea of average height of the children. So these values are called representative values. So this average consumption of rice, average age and average height, so these values are called representative values. So here the representative value of average consumption of rice is 150 grams. So here the average age of children is 13 years and average height of the children is 135 centimeters. So these are called the representative values. So there are three types of representative values. So one is arithmetic mean, or simply we can say that mean, and the second is median, and the third one is mode. So first you will learn about the mean, arithmetic mean, or simply we can say that average. Then we learn about the median and also the mode. Now let's learn about the arithmetic mean, which is the first representative value of the given information or the data. So the first one is arithmetic mean. Or simply we can say that mean, or we can say that AM, arithmetic mean. Now here arithmetic mean is defined as the sum of all observations divided by the number of observations. Now arithmetic mean equals to sum of all observations by number of observations. Now for example, a particular student Ravikant has got marks in mathematics in different assessments. So FA1 he has got 40 marks, in FA2 he has got 42 marks, in FA3 he has got 40 marks, and FA4 he has got 46 marks. Now let us find the average marks of Ravikant in maths when compared with all the formative assessments. So on average he has got how many marks in mathematics? So now here, according to the arithmetic mean formula, so we can find arithmetic mean, or mean equals to sum of the observations means, so here of the observations are nothing but the marks of the student in different assessments. So in FA1 he has got 40 plus FA2 42 plus 40 plus 46 by the total number of observations is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So then we get 2 plus 6, 8, 4 plus 4, 8, 8 plus 4, 12, 12 plus 4, 16 by 4. So this equals to 4 1s are 4, 4 4s are 16, 4 2s are 8. So on average he has got 42 marks. So this is the arithmetic mean of the marks of the student Ravikant. So in all the FAs, FA1, FA2, FA3 and FA4, so that arithmetic mean of his marks is 42. Means on an average he has got 42 marks in all the assessments. Now where does the arithmetic mean lie? So here, where does the arithmetic mean lie? Now if you see this arithmetic mean 42, here the lowest value is 40 and the highest value is 46. So the lowest marks equals to 40 and the highest marks equals to 46. Lowest marks, so 2 times has got 40 marks and the highest marks 46, but the arithmetic mean is 42. Arithmetic mean equals to 42. So the arithmetic mean lies between the lowest and the highest marks. So here 40 less than 42, which is arithmetic mean, less than 46. So here 40 is the lowest observation, lowest entry, lowest marks, and 46 is the highest marks, and 42 is the arithmetic mean. So arithmetic mean always lies between the lowest and the highest observations. So the arithmetic mean always lies between the lowest and the highest observations. Now let us see the property of arithmetic mean. A property of mean. Now for example, the given observations are 4, 8, 10, 16 and 20. Now let us find the arithmetic mean of all these observations. Arithmetic mean equals to 4 plus 8 plus 10 plus 16 plus 20 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 observations are there by 5. So this equals to 4 plus 8, 12, 12 plus 10, 22, 22 plus 16, 38, 38 plus 20, 58. So 0, 6 plus 8, 14 plus 4, 18, 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 1, 4, 4 plus 1, 5, 58 by 5. Now let us take the last observation as 22. Then we get here 60. Now 2 plus 6, 8, 8 plus 8, 16 plus 4, 20, 2 plus 2, 4, 4 plus 1, 5, 5 plus 1, 6. 60 by 5, this equals to 12. Now let us add the same number to all of the observations. Means here all observations are increased by a certain value. Now we will increase all observations by 1. Then 4 plus 1, 8 plus 1, 10 plus 1, next 16 plus 1 and 22 plus 1. So then we get 5, 9, 11, 17, 23. Now let us find the arithmetic mean of all the observations. 5 plus 9 plus 11 plus 17 plus 23 divided by 5. So then 3 plus 7, 10, 10 plus 1, 11, 11 plus 9, 20 plus 5, 25. And 2 plus 2, 4, 4 1, 5, 5 1, 6, 65 by 5. So this equals to 5 1s are 5, 5 13s are 65. So this equals to 13, which is 12 plus 1. So if all the observations are increased by a certain value, then even the arithmetic mean also increased by the same number. So if all the observations are increased by 1, then even the arithmetic mean also increased by the same number 1. If all the observations are decreased by a certain value, then even the arithmetic mean also decreased by the same value. So we can write that if all of the observations are increased or decreased by a certain number, then AM also increased or decreased by the same number. So if all the observations are increased or decreased by a certain number, then even the arithmetic mean also increased or decreased by the same number. So far we have learnt what is the data and what is the representative value, and we have learnt about the first representative value of the observations, that is the arithmetic mean, and we have also learnt so where the arithmetic mean lies between, and we have also learnt the important property of the arithmetic mean. Now let us solve some problems based on the arithmetic mean of the data. So the first question, find the arithmetic mean of the first 10 natural numbers. The first 10 natural numbers are 0, 1. The first 10 natural numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now their arithmetic mean equals to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 divided by 10. Sum of all the observations by the number of observations. Now this equals to 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 3, 6, 6 plus 4, 10, 10 plus 5, 15, 15 plus 6, 21, 21 plus 7, 28, 28 plus 8, 36, 36 plus 9, 45, plus 10, 55, divided by 10. So this equals to 5.5. So the arithmetic mean of the first 10 natural numbers is 5.5. Now let us solve the next question. Find the mean of first 5 prime numbers. The first 5 prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. Now the arithmetic mean equals to sum of all observations by number of observations. So mean equals to sum of all observations means 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 11 by 5. So this equals to 2 plus 3 5, 5 plus 5 10, 10 plus 7 17, 17 plus 1 28 divided by 5. Now if you divide 28 by 5, 5 5s are 25, 3 remainder 0.0, then 5 6 are 30, 0. So this equals to 5.6. So here also the arithmetic mean 5.6 lies between the least value 2 and the highest value 11. So we can say that the arithmetic mean of the observation always lies between the lowest observation and the highest observation of the given data. Now let us solve the next question. In a set of 4 integers, the average of 2 smallest integers is 1 or 2. The average of 3 smallest integers is 1 or 3, and the average of all 4 is 1 or 4. Then what is the greatest integer? Of all. So in a set of 4 integers, the average of 2 smallest integers is 1 or 2, the average of 3 smallest integers is 1 or 3, and the average of all the 4 integers is 1 or 4. Then we have to find the greatest integer of all the 4 integers. So let the 4 integers be a, b, c, d. Let the 4 integers be a comma b comma c comma d, where a less than b less than c less than d. Means here the a is the least one and d is the greatest one. Now according to the question, the average of 2 smallest integers is 1 or 2. So then average of 2 smallest integers means average of 2 smallest integers equals to 1 or 2. So then a plus b by 2 equals to 1 or 2. From this we get a plus b equals to, by cross multiplication, 1 or 2 into 2 we get 2 or 4. And the average of three smallest integers equals to 1 or 3. So then 3 smallest integers means a, b and also c. Then we get a plus b plus c by the number of integers is 3. So by 3 equals to, it is given that 1 or 3. By cross multiplication we get a plus b plus c equals to 3 into 1 or 3, 309. This is second equation. And the average of all 4 integers equals to 1 or 4. Then a plus b plus c plus d by all the 4 integers means 4 equals to 1 or 4. Now by cross multiplication we get a plus b plus c plus d equals to 4 into 1 and 4, 416. This is equation 3. Now to get the greatest integer d, then we subtract second equation from the third equation. So then we get equation 3 minus equation 2. So then A plus B plus C plus D equals to 416, and here A plus B plus C equals to 309. When we subtract, we change the sign of the second expression each term. Now plus A minus A cancel, plus B minus B get cancel, plus C minus C get cancel, then we get D equals to 16 minus 9, 7, 0, 4 minus 3, 1. So here D is the greatest integer. Therefore, the greatest of all four integers equals to 107. Now let us see the next question. Rice consumed in a school under the midday meal program for 5 consecutive days is 15.750 kilograms, 14.850 kilograms, 16.500 kilograms, 14.700 kilograms, and 17.700 kilograms. So find the average rice consumption for the 5 days. So to find the average rice consumption for the 5 days, so we have to find the arithmetic mean of the given observations. So then arithmetic mean equals to sum of all observations by number of observations. Then arithmetic mean equals to sum of all observations means here 15.750 plus 14.850 plus 16.500 plus 14.700 plus 17.700 divided by 5. So this equals to 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, 0, then 5 plus 5, 10, 10, 0, plus 1 plus 7, 8, 8 plus 8, 16, 16 plus 5, 21, 21 plus 7, 28, 28 plus 7, 35, 3 plus 5, 8, 8 plus 4, 12, 12 plus 6, 18, 18 plus 4, 22, 22 plus 7, 29, 2 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 1, 4, plus 1, 5, plus 1, 6, plus 1, 7 by 5. So then if we cancel 5 ones are 5 and 5 ones are 5, 2 is the remainder 29, 5 5s are 25.4 remainder 45, 5 9s are 45, 0 0. So then we get 15.900 kilograms. So this is the average rice consumption for the 5 days in the midday meal program. Now let us learn the second type of representative value, that is the mode. So the first type of representative value is the arithmetic mean or simply average. Now the second type of representative value of the given set of observations is the mode. Now let us see what is the mode. Now, for example, if a shopkeeper wants to find out which type of oil packet he has to stock more in number, so for this he collects the information of the oil packets sold in the last week in such a way that in a table. So first we will take the type day, and here we will take the number of oil packets sold So here G means groundnut oil, and S means sunflower oil, and P means palm oil packet. So on the first and Monday he has sold 2 packets of groundnut oil and 3 packets of sunflower and 1 packet of palm oil packet. And Tuesday, then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. And the Tuesday he has sold 1 packet of groundnut and 2 packets of sunflower oil and 2 packets of palm oil. Next Wednesday next Thursday, next Friday, next Saturday, and Sunday also it is given that now if you find the arithmetic mean of the all the oil packets but there is no use, so if you find the type of oil packet which sold most frequently, so if you find this groundnuts, so it is sold 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. So groundnuts, there are 12 packets of groundnuts, and sunflower 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25. So there are 25 packets of sunflower sold in the last week, and the palm oil packets 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. So even palm oil packets also 12, but he sold sunflower oil packets more in number, so then he has to stock the sunflower oil packets for the subsequent week. So then the mode of the observations is 25, that is sunflower, that is 25. Now next we write the mode definition. The most frequently occurred value in the given data is called the mode. The most frequently occurred value in the given data is called the mode. Now for example, if you want to find the mode of the given observations, so the first question 2 5 2 6 8 5 2 9. If you want to find the mode of the given data, first let us arrange all the given observations either in the ascending order or in the descending order. So first you write in the ascending order, first 2, so 2 is occurring 3 times, so 2 comma 2 comma 2, then the next value is 5 5 5, the next 6 8, then 9. So your 2 is occurring 3 times, 5 is occurring 2 times, and 6 1 time, 8 1 time, 9 also 1 time. So here the most frequently occurring value is 2. So the mode of the given data is 2. Now this is called unimodal. So there is only one mode. So this is called unimodal data. Now let us take the next question. Find the mode of the observations. 5, 8, 8, 9, 4, 6, 9, 3, 10. So if you arrange the observations in the ascending order, so first we get 3, so then we get 5, so then 3, next 4 you will get, then 5, then 6, then 8, 8, next 9, 9, then 10. Now if you observe all these observations, here 3 is occurring only one time, 4 also one time, 5 one time, 6 one time, but here 8 2 times, 9 also 2 times, and 10 also only one time. So here 2 observations are occurring same number of times. So the given data has 2 modes, 8 and 9. So this data is called bimodal data. Now here the mode is 8 and 9. So this is called bimodal data. Now for example, the third question, 6, 5, 3, 9, 4, 8. Now if you arrange all the observations in the ascending order, we get 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, 8, 9. So there is no value occurring most frequently, means here any observation is not repeated. So there is no mode for the given data. So for a given data, mode may or may not exist, or if the mode exists for a given data, it may not be unique. Now there is no mode, or mode does not exist. So for a given data, mode may or may not exist. So in this data, the mode does not exist. Now let us see the next question. Long jumps by 7 students of a team are 98 centimeters, 125 centimeters, 140 centimeters, 155 centimeters, 174 centimeters, 140 centimeters, and 155 centimeters. Find the mode of the data. So first let us arrange all the observations in the ascending order. So the least value is 98 centimeters. So first you write 98 centimeters, comma, then we write, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 observations. So the least value is 98 centimeters. The next value is 125 centimeters. And next value 140 centimeters. And the next value again one more 140 centimeters. And next value 155 centimeters. Next one more 155. Next highest value is 174 centimeters. Now if you observe all the given observations in the ascending order, so then 98 repeated only one time, and 125 also repeated only one time, but here 140 occurred 2 times, then 155 is also occurring 2 times, and 174 is occurring only 1 time. So here most repeated values are 140 and 155, and they are occurring same number of times. So here 140 centimeters and 155 centimeters are occurring 2 times. So therefore mode of the given data is 140 centimeters, comma 155 centimeters. So this is a bimodal data. So the next question: ages of players in a cricket team are 25, 26, 25, 27, 28, 30, 31, 27, 33, 27, 29. So find the mean and also the mode of the data. So if you want to find the mean, so then equals to sum of mean equals to sum of all observations by the number of observations. So if you want to find the mean, then first we will add all the observations. 25 plus 26 plus 25 plus 27 plus 28 plus 30 plus 31 plus 27 plus 33 plus 27 plus 29 by the total number of observations. So 25, 26, 25, 27, 28, 30, 31, 27, then 33, 27, then 29. Now the total number of observations are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now this equals to 5 plus 6, 11, 11 plus 5, 16, 16 plus 7, 23, 23 plus 8, 31, 31 plus 1, 32, 32 plus 7, 39, plus 3, 42, plus 7, 49, plus 9, 58, 5 plus 2, 7, 7 plus 2, 9, 9 plus 2, 11, 11 plus 2, 13, plus 2, 15, 15 plus 3, 18, 18 plus 3, 21, 21 plus 2, 23, 23 plus 3, 26, 26 plus 2, 28, 28 plus 2, 30 by 11. So then 11 ones are 11, 11 twos are 22, 8 remainder, 11 eights are 88. So this equals to 28 years. So this is the average age of all the players in the cricket team. Now we will find the mode. So to find the mode of the given observations, first let us arrange all the observations either in the ascending order or in the descending order. So first let us arrange all the observations in the ascending order. So first we get 25. So then we get 25 is occurring 1, 2 times. Then we take 26. So 26 is occurring 1 time, 26. Then 27, 1, 2, 3 times. So then we take 28, 28 is occurring only 1 time. Then 29, then 30, 31, 33. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are 11 observations. Now here 25 is occurring 2 times, 26 1 time, 27 3 times, 28 one time, 29 one time, 30, 31, 33 all repeated only one time. So your most frequently occurring value is 27. This is occurring more number of times, means 3 times. So 27 is occurring three times. Therefore, mod equals to 27 years. Now let us learn about the third representative value, that is the median. The first two representative values are mean and mode, and the third representative value is the median. Now let us learn about the representative value median. Now if you want to find the average salary or mean salary of 5 workers in a company, for example, the salaries of worker 1, the salary of worker 1 is 3000 rupees, the salary of worker 2 is 3500. Now the salary of worker 3 4,000, and the salary of worker 4 is 4,500, and the salary of the manager, so that is 12,000. Now if you want to find the average salary or mean salary equals to the sum of all the observations, means the sum of the total salary of all the workers. So 3000 plus 3500 plus 4000 plus 4500 plus 12,000 divided by, so there are 4 workers and the manager, so there are 5 employees, 1 2 3 4 5 observations by divided by 5, so this equals to, now 500 plus 500,000, 3000 plus 1000 4000 plus 3 7000 plus 4 11,000 plus 4 15,000 plus 12 27,000 by 5. So then we get 5 under 5, 5 5 are 25, 2 remainder 20, 5 4 are 20, 0 0. So yeah, the mean salary is 5,400 rupees. But now this is not the correct representative value when you consider the all the workers' salary, but all the workers' salaries around 4,000, some salaries less than 4,000 and some salaries 4 or 4,000 above. But here the manager's salary affects the representative value. So because of the extreme value means 12,000, so the representative value is affected here. So here the representative value mean is not the suitable representative value here. Now let us arrange all the salaries of the workers including the manager in the ascending order or the descending order. So first we get 3,000, then 3,500, then 4,000, then 4,500, then 12,000. Now if you find the middlemost value, so take one observation from both left and right. So 3,000, 12,000, then again next up 3,500, 4,500. So the middlemost observation is 4,000. So here the middlemost observation 4000 is the median of the given data. So the median is nothing but the middlemost observation. So the median of the given data is 4000. So the median 4000 divides the observations into two groups of equal number of observations. So the two groups are 3000, 3500 and 4500, 12000. So the extreme value will be the last in the, if you arrange all the observations in the ascending order, and this median separates the given observations into two groups. In each group there are same number of observations. So here the total number of observations is 5, which is odd, then we get the median. If the total number of observations is even, for example, if one more worker salary is included in the set of observations, that is, for example, 2500. So then if you take the another worker salary 2500, so then we get 2500 comma 3000 comma 3500, 4000, then 4500, then 12000. Here the number of observations is odd number of observations equal to 5, which is odd number. So then we get only one middlemost value, that is the median. If the number of observations is even number, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so there are 6 observations. So in this data, number of observations equal to 6, which is even number. Now here also we have to find the middlemost observation. So take one observation from both left and right to find the middlemost observation. So there are two middlemost observations, 3500 and 4000. Then we find the average of these two middlemost observations. So then average, then median equals to average of these two middle observations, that is 3500 plus 4000 by 2. So the average of these two observations is nothing but their mid value, that is 3500 plus 4000 by 2. Then we get 7500 by 2. So then we get 2 ones are 2 and 2 threes are 6. 1 remainder 15, 2 sevens are 14, 1 remainder 10, 2 fives are 10, 0, 3750. So this is the median of the given observations. So when you have the number of observations odd number, then there will be only one middlemost value, that is called the median of the data. And when the number of observations is even number, then there will be two middlemost values. The median is nothing but their average. So the median of the observations with odd number of observations is the average of the two middlemost values. Now let us solve a problem based on the median, the representative value of median. So the first question, observations of a data are 16, 72, 0, 55, 65, 10 and 41. Chaitanya calculated the mode and median without taking 0 into the consideration. Did he do the right thing? So let us find the mode and median of the given observations by considering 0 and without considering 0. So first let us find if 0 is considered. Now, so let us write all the observations in the ascending order. So first we get 0, then we get 10, then 16, then 41, then 55, 65, 72. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 observations. So this is the ascending order. Now, if you find the median or if you find the mode, so there is no observation. See here, 0, 10, 16, 41, 55, 65 and 72. So there is no observation occurring most frequently. So mode does not exist. Now if you find the median, so we have to find the middlemost value, 0, 72, 10, 65, 16, 55, then we get 41. So median is the 41. Now if you do not consider 0, if 0 is not considered, then we will write again the observations in the ascending order, 0, 10, 16, 41. So when 0 is not considered, we do not write 0. So then we write only 10, 16, 41, 55, 65, 72. Now here also mode does not exist. Because there is no value which is repeated, which is occurring most frequently. So then we find the median equals to, so we will find the middlemost observation, 10, 72, 16, 65. So there are two middle values, 41 and 55. We will find their average. So 41 plus 55 by 2. So this equals to 5 plus 1, 6. And 5 plus 4, 9, 96 by 2, so this equals to 48. 2 1s are 2, 2 48s are 96, that is 48. So here in both the cases, mode does not exist, here also mode does not exist, but in this, median is 41 when 0 is considered, and when 0 is not considered, the median is 48. So when Chaitanya did without considering 0, then mode is correct, but median is not correct. Now the next question, how many distinct sets of 3 positive integers have a mean of 6, a median of 7 and no mode? So there are 3 positive integers. So let us take the 3 positive integers as a, b, c. So let the 3 positive integers be a comma b comma c. So as there is no mode, there are distinct integers as there is no mode, they are distinct integers. Distinct positive integers. And median is 7 and they are distinct positive integers, and let us take a less than b less than c. So then median is 7 means median equal to 7, so then b value is 7. And next now mean is 6, so the mean of the observations is 6, so then we get mean of the 3 observations a plus b plus c by 3, a plus b plus c by 3 equals to 6, so then we get a plus b value is 7 plus c. By cross multiplication we get 6 3s are 18, then a plus c equals to 18 minus 7, a plus c equals to 18 minus 7 11. So then we have to find the values of a and c such that their sum is 11. So the different values of a and c are, if a value is 3 then c value is 8, so if a value is 1, and so that we have to get the mean 6, median 7, and there should be no mode. So there should be no mode means here b value is 7, so all the 3 integers are distinct, so here a is not equal to 7 and c is also not equal to, c does not equal to 7. So a and c are the values other than 7. Now here the values of a and c are, so here first we take 1 plus 10 equal to 11, then a value is 1, c value is 10. So then we take 2 plus 9 equals to 11, then a value is 2 and c value is 9. Then 3 plus 8 also 11, then a value is 3 and c value is 8. So if you write the values of a, b, c in each case, a, b, c, so here a value is 1, b value is 7 and c value is 10. And in the second case a value is 2, b value is 7, so this b value is always 7. Then as the median is 7, so the middle value is always 7, then c value is 9. Next 3, 7 and c value 8. So if you take 4 plus 7 equals to 11, so here a value is 4 and c value is 7, so here we get 4 7 7, but here 7 is repeated, there is no, but here mode is 7, so there is no mode, so we do not consider this case. Now let us take the next case. 5 plus 6 equals to 11, so here a value is 5, c value is 6, so then we get 5 7 6. But if you arrange these values in the ascending order 5 6 7, then here 6 will be the median, but according to the question the median is 7 itself. So we consider only these 3 cases. So the 3 positive integers, the set of three positive integers is 1 7 10 2 7 9 3 7 8. Now let us discuss the next topic, presentation of data. How to present the given data. A data can be presented in different ways such as pictographs, bar graphs and pie charts. So let us discuss each one by one. Pictographs, bar graphs, and third one, pie charts. So you have already learnt in your earlier classes about the pictographs and bar graphs. In pictographs we use the pictures of the objects to represent the given data. So but it is time consuming and it is very difficult to draw the pictures to represent each object of the given data. So to overcome this problem, we use bar graphs to represent the data. So in this bar graph we take the different objects on horizontal line and the frequency of the each item on the vertical line. So this is the vertical line. For example, if you want to show the marks of a particular student in different subjects like Hindi, English, maths, science and social, so then we take the different subjects on the horizontal line and we take the marks of each subject on the vertical line. So for each subject we have to draw the rectangle or bar, and all the bars of uniform width, and there is equal spacing between any two consecutive bars. So the length of the bar represents the frequency of the particular subject, and we shade the bars. Here the two important points are here, that so all the bars are of uniform width and there is equal spacing between any two consecutive bars. Now we can draw even the double bar graph. So if you want to compare the marks of a student in different subjects from FA1 to FA2, then we use double bar graph. So in this double bar graph we take double bars for each subject to represent. So this shaded bar represents that the marks obtained in a particular subject in FA1, and the unshaded bar represents the marks of the particular student in a particular subject in FA2. So there is a comparison between FA1 and FA2. For example, this subject is English, and if we want to show the marks in Hindi, so this is Hindi, and the shaded bar represents the marks in FA1 and the unshaded bar represents the marks in FA2. So there is a comparison between the marks of the student in different subjects from FA1 to FA2. And the next one is pie charts. So first we will draw a circle, and circle has been divided into sectors depending on the quantity of the given data. So if there are 5 subjects, then the circle has been divided into 5 sectors. Then here you should find the area of each sector. So the area of each sector depends on the angle of the sector subtended at the center of the circle. So for each value of the given object, then we find the angle of the sector. For example, this sector represents the marks of the student in English, and this is, for example, Hindi. But we need to find the angle of each sector. Now let us draw a double bar graph for the given data. Draw a double bar graph for the following data: birth and death rates of different states in 1999. Now the state, in the first column the different states are given, and in the second column birth rate per thousand, and the third column death rate also per thousand. Now in the Andhra Pradesh state, birth rate is 22 per thousand and death rate is 8 per thousand, and Tamil Nadu 19 and 8, Kerala birth rate 18, death rate 6, and Orissa birth rate is 24 and the death rate is 11. Now let us write the steps in drawing the double bar graph. So first we draw the horizontal and vertical line and their intersection as O. Draw a horizontal and vertical line and mark their intersection as O. Next, take different states on horizontal line and birth death rates on vertical line. Now the third step, choose the scale as 1 centimeter equals to 2 birth rates or 2 deaths. Now draw different bars adjacent to each other. So the horizontal line we take, this is the horizontal line. And this is the vertical line. The intersection of these two axes is O, and mark on the vertical line as 2, 4, 6, 8. So if you take the scale as 1 centimeter equal to 2 births or 2 deaths, so we cannot show 22 or 24 births. So then we take scale as 1 centimeter equal to 5 births or 5 deaths. So then we get 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 and 35. Then we have to find the length of each bar. So to find the length of the bar representing the birth rate 22, so we divide 22 by 5, then we get 4.4, and here I will take so on the horizontal line we take the different states that represents the birth rate and death rate. We have to represent the length of the bar represent birth rate and death rate of the state Andhra Pradesh. So birth rate of state Andhra Pradesh is 22. So then we take between 20 and 25. So this is birth rate and the death rate is 8. So it is below 10. So this is death rate. Now this is the state Andhra Pradesh. Now the shaded bar represents the birth rate and the unshaded part represents the death rate. And the next state Tamil Nadu, the birth rate is 19 and death rate is 8. So Tamil Nadu, and death rate is 8. The shaded part represents the birth rate and the unshaded part represents the death rate. And the next Kerala, 18 and 6. So birth rate is 18. And death rate is 6. Next Orissa, 24 and 11. So it is less than 25. So 10 means it is 11 means it is about 10. So this is Orissa. So here also the shaded part represents the birth rate and the unshaded part represents the death rate of the state Orissa. So similarly we can draw the bars for any state representing the birth rate and death rate. So here the shaded part, the shaded bar represents birth rate and the unshaded part, unshaded bar represents death rate. Now let us draw a pie chart for the given data. Draw a pie chart for the following data: time spent by a child during a day. Now the time spent for each thing is given and the time spent also given. For sleeping he is spending 8 hours per day, and for school 6 hours, for play 2 hours, and for others 8 hours. So the total available time in a day is 24 hours. Now we have to find this pie chart can be represented in a circle with the different sectors. So here each time spent for will be represented by each sector. Then here we have to find the angle of each sector. So to find the angle of each sector, so we have a formula: angle of each sector equals to the time spent by total time into 360 degrees. So using this formula we have to find the angle of each sector. So first, for sleeping, then for school, next for play, next for others. For sleeping he is spending 8 hours, and for school 6 hours, and for play 2 hours, and for others 8 hours. Now the ratio between the time spent and the total time. So the total time available in a day is 24. So we take 8 by 24 equals to 1/3. Then 6 by 24 equals to 1/4. And 2 by 24 equals to 1/12. And 8 by 24 equals to 1/3. Now the next, angle of each sector or area of each sector. So 1/3 into 360 degrees equals to 120 degrees. Then 1/4 into 360 degrees equals to 90 degrees. Then 1/12 into 360 equals to 30 degrees, and 1/3 into 360 degrees equals to 120 degrees. So the total available time is 8 plus 6 14, 14 plus 2 16 plus 8 24 hours, and the sum of all the angles will be 360 degrees here. So 120 plus 120 240, 240 plus 30 270, 270 plus 90 360 degrees. Here we have to draw a circle with any convenient radius. So steps of construction here: draw a circle with center O and a convenient radius. Now draw angle AOB equals to 120 degrees, representing first one sleep, so 120 degrees, So this represents sleep. Now draw angle BOC equals to 90 degrees. Representing second one, school. So this represents school. Third, draw angle COD equals to 30 degrees. Representing next one, third one, play. So this is play. Then automatically the fourth angle DOA. So this represents. So this is 90 degrees. So this is 30 degrees. And automatically this angle DOA equals to 120 degrees, representing others. And we can shade differently for different sectors. So for the sector representing sleep, we can shade like this. And for the sector representing school, we can put dots. And to represent the others, so we can shade, we can put into marks. So this is the circle which is divided into different sectors representing the time spent for each thing.